Welcome to Joe's Happy Hour, a show about markets and life hosted by Joe Fahmy. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be regarded as personalized investment advice or relied upon for any investment decisions. Joe Fahmy is an employee of Zor Capital, and he and his clients may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. All opinions expressed by Joe are solely his own and do not reflect the opinions of Zor Capital. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on this program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Joe Fahmy with another episode of Joe's Happy Hour. I just wanted to briefly introduce this episode, my dear friends, James and Marina, who are an amazing mentalist magician duo based out of Dubai. They perform under the name Mind2Mind. They joined me for this episode. The first 10 minutes is them gracing us with a little taste of their amazing mentalism skills, and the rest of the episode is an interview with them. So enjoy the show and enjoy the podcast.
Okay, I'm putting them on the spot to perform something, and so we just set up a camera. None of the three of us have any idea what's about to happen, and so I'm letting you guys take over.
All right, let's do it. Maybe you could help us, Joe?
Okay.
Can you cover Marina's eyes for us?
Yeah, sure.
He gets the dream job?
He gets the dream job.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, just make sure I can see.
Yeah, as long as you know that Marina's eyes are closed under your fingertips.
Okay.
That's really important because she could see through the gaps in your fingers, maybe, but at least you know that she can't see through her own eyelids. Could you give these a shuffle for me?
Yes.
There are more possible combinations in a single pack of cards than there are stars in the observable universe, but wherever you finish shuffling, that's going to be your order. Are you happy there?
Seems good.
Hold your hands like this for me. Are you ready, Marina?
Yes.
Very good. See what the cards are.
The first one is a red card. I will go for diamonds, maybe five of diamonds.
Yes. Can you tell us this one?
This is a black card, James. Ace of clubs, to be specific, yes.
Correct. Can you tell us this one?
This is four of clubs.
Quite right, good. But bearing in mind you mix the cards, we'll show you something totally impossible as I deal through. Say stop anytime you want.
Stop.
Titus, I believe you've stopped exactly at an eight of hearts.
Woo!
Yes.
8
Okay.
of hearts. Thank you so much for your help. I think keep your hands there.
Oh,
I think we are now warmed up enough. Now pull, and you can swap if you've got stuff in your pockets that you want to try in a little while. We can swap somebody else covering Marina's eyes.
Okay.
But for now, pull anything from your bag, anything from your pockets, literally anything you've got with you. Marina will attempt to describe what those items are. I want to know what this is.
No, you're okay. Just,
Okay.
Yeah. James, hold it in your hand.
All right.
This has a shape of a wallet. Yeah, I'll go for a wallet.
Yes, the color?
Definitely. It's a black wallet.
Very good. See what this is?
There is some kind of ID. I will go for license. Maybe could be a driving license.
Nice. Can you tell me the date of birth?
It's March. It's somewhere in the middle. 18th of March.
Yes, the year?
Is it 2001? That's great.
Is that right?
That's
Thank
great.
you. Can you try this?
Yes, this feels like it could be a pocket knife and actually a multi-tool, to be specific.
This is a multi-tool. We'll do a bank card at the end. All good.
There is some water, I think.
Quite right. This?
There is a pen too.
Any idea of the brand?
I feel like it could be some kind of bank.
That's right, try the bank.
Is it Chase Bank?
It is Chase Bank written on that pen right there.
Come on.
Awesome. Now tell me what's in the drawer.
There is a tape measure, right?
Okay, can you tell us what this is?
And this, I believe, okay, now I'm picking up on some lights and flashes.
Yes, very good.
It could be maybe a lens.
That's a lens. Wait, do you want to swap over so you can pull some stuff out of your pockets?
Yeah.
Let's do a few more things.
I'm covering your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, and this?
Now, it's almost like a familiar taste, almost like condiment.
Right.
Maybe something sweet but not sugar. I will go for a sweetener.
That's sweetener right there. Will you see what this is?
Something small but with a lot of power. Like almost like it opens. Wait, That's a door, a car door. It opens a car. It's a key remote.
Yes, nice. Do you know the car?
Is it a Alfa Romeo?
Alfa Romeo, right there.
That was
Can you tell me what this is too?
Yes, that's a chewing gum.
Chewing gum, easy. Don't give
Oh,
the same thing.
I grabbed that from there. I got nothing on.
Okay, see what that is?
Hold on.
Now there is something beautiful there. Maybe a piece of jewelry.
Go on.
And I think it could be specifically a bracelet.
Cool. Do you know the brand?
Is it Louis Vuitton?
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
Good. And tell me what this is?
Those are cards. Pack of cards.
It's a playing card. Please
Okay.
go for the card.
Is it a... This is 6 of hearts, I believe, yes. Maybe you? Maybe you have a...
There's one right on that desk over there.
Oh, whose is this?
Mine.
It's yours. Can you tell me what this is?
That is a phone, an iPhone.
Well done. I want to know something about the iPhone.
You know what? Let's try something with this phone. Hold it face down on your palm. And now please gently touch the back. Yeah, like that. Thank you. And as you do that, I will try to sense the remaining battery percentage. This phone is charged to 91% battery at this moment.
I'm going to say 91%. Let's have a look. Exactly 91?
91%.
Wow.
Hey.
91%. Thanks for your help with that. Do either of you have a bank? Do you have a bank card I can borrow?
Mm-hmm.
Come stand right here for a second. Try to tell me the type of card this is.
Okay, so this feels like a Visa type.
That's right. Try the bank.
It's Chase Bank again.
Wow, very good. Anything else?
Let's try something with this card. Hold it like this in your hands. So you may not remember all the numbers on that card, even though you might use it every single day, but those numbers are locked somewhere in your mind. So now please think about the last time you used it. And I will tell you the 3-digit security code. You did great, actually. I'm picking up on a 2 right away. There is a 1, and that one last digit, if you focus, okay, that's a 5. 215, right?
I'm going to say 215 for the CVV code. 215 right there.
Incredible.
That's crazy.
Okay, we're live. James and Marina, Mind to Mind. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Jay.
you came all the
be
way
here.
from Dubai to do my podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. 20-hour flight.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Worth it.
I'm
Wouldn't
kidding.
even let us check into the hotel.
I know.
No.
I know.
Sure, yeah.
Quick intro, magician and mentalist duo. You're based in Dubai. Golden Buzzer winners on Ukraine Got Talent. And Magic Circle Champions of Mentalism, which is an amazing accomplishment. There's a lot of other accolades. Why don't I have you guys do a quick intro for the audience so they know a little bit about you, a little bit more, whatever you feel like mentioning.
Okay, so yeah, we're a married couple. We met in 2017 on Tinder. Instant connection. Started performing our acts.
I don't know if you're kidding or not.
No, absolutely
it's
true.
true.
Absolutely
Okay,
true. Yeah.
okay, that's good.
I was a magician beforehand. Marina was a model, which means that if someone like me can meet someone like Marina, there's hope for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great intro.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
We do something called Second Sight. That's the genre of mentalism that we do. We have our theatre show over in Dubai. We do that and corporate events, and we come to Vegas whenever we can because we love the city.
That's awesome. So yeah, I hate to ask the generic question, how did you guys meet? I'm sure the audience would want to know that, but more of not just how you met, but how it grew into the act. How does it so you're a magician doing a lot of, magic stuff. And so how does it form into I've seen it live. It's amazing. By the
Thank
way.
you.
It's mind blowing. It's mind to mind blowing.
Thank you.
I like that.
So how does it form into that from after you meet to how does that evolve and develop?
So yeah, as we mentioned, we met on Tinder, then we started dating very soon after that. And then, I already knew who he was. He was a pretty famous magician in Dubai. He was well known. So when I just saw him on
that's
Tinder,
the perception. It's
no,
it's
but
not true.
that's from my point of view.
Yeah.
I'm on Tinder. I'm swiping through left, and then I see this guy. I'm like, I know who this is.
You know who he was?
Yes, I
Okay.
saw him perform multiple times before, and I'm like, oh my, I can't believe what's he doing on Tinder? So I sent him a message first. I was like, I better, I better act fast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I sent him a
So you
message.
met in Dubai.
Yeah, it was Dubai Tinder, yeah.
Okay. So you already, I was going to ask how you ended up in Dubai, but you were already there independently.
Yeah.
Okay. How is living in Dubai? Perceptions, positives, like misperceptions about UAE and all that?
I love Dubai. Dubai is I guess we can go through the misconceptions because we don't really know what they are because that's just our home.
Yeah.
What I think of Dubai is it's just an incredibly clean, very, very safe place to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to lock your doors. There's
Okay.
I've been there 16 years. I've never come across any kind of crime at all. It's the kind of place where I used to work in a coffee shop on my laptop with my coffee there. If I wanted to go to the mall, I'd just leave the laptop there.
Yeah.
No one steals your stuff.
Just to save your table, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's different from the U.S., but definitely cool.
Yeah.
And then you perform. It's a residency that you do there pretty regularly, but you also do corporate gigs as well.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? The larger audience, the residency, or the corporate gigs, the more intimate crowds?
We do love our theater show because we can be as creative as we want to be. You know, if whoever has ever performed at a corporate gig would know that there is no time for creativity. Like, you have to hit them hard very fast, you know, because it's a fast-paced kind of performance there. When you do theater, you can be creative, you can slow down, you can build that, you know, journey for the audience. So we do prefer theater. But corporate is something that just pays our bills, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great too.
That world, we have some mutual musician friends, and that's a whole world I didn't even know existed. I just thought, you know, the back of the T-shirt, the cities that they perform at, but I underestimated if you want Billy Joel to play your daughter's wedding, you can hire him. You know, I underestimated that private gigs for magicians, mentalists, musicians. It's an amazing world out there. That's
Yeah.
And we'll include, by the way, because a lot of my audience is financial, so we'll include ways to contact you guys if anyone's interested.
Okay,
So we'll
awesome.
include that as well in the links. So, craziest reaction from? Do you get crazy reactions? You just performed, and I'm trying to control myself, but do you get a lot of crazy reactions from people, from the audiences?
Yeah.
Anything that sticks out in particular, or?
We get a lot. I mean, the reactions. So there's different types of reactions, and I like it. So there's obviously the astonished reactions. There's the wave the hands up in the air when it's a skeptic and they just get to the point where they just give up and just concede defeat. And then there's the later on in our theatre show. There's the tears and the kind of more emotional reactions.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've probably seen it all over the years that we've been doing it. We've had people run away. People scream, and everything else in between.
Everything in between.
Yeah.
So, but you guys do, your show's about 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And who put together the different parts or choreographed or whatever the word is, like, of that show?
We had so many consultants and, you know, mentors who helped us and who advised us on our show. But I would say James is the mastermind behind, you know, the majority of the whole show. Yeah, he's the one who has ideas. He creates the routines, he creates the narrative, but then we will, you know, consult different people to give their opinions on what could be improved. Yeah, but James is the mastermind.
What happens if you come up with an idea and you disagree? Is it happy wife, happy life? Or do you guys argue? Or you just, you know, like if you disagree on a concept that you want to do?
The end call on the creative side is mine.
Okay.
So we're very clear on our roles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Marina does costume design, set design, looks at the aesthetics.
Okay.
And back on the consultancy thing, so that's been really useful. So when we first started our theatre show, we'd had a non-magic theatre director come in and do our whole show, which we learned so much from. There's a magician in the UK called David Penn, who's helped us throughout the years. He's been absolutely incredible, really helped get our act to where it is. because he has a stage performance background, which when we started this, I was only close-up magic beforehand.
Okay.
So being able to make that transition with the help of David Penn was instrumental in turning it into something that could be presented for larger audiences.
Okay. I notice you carry a deck of cards a lot with you. It's part of your hand. What do you prefer more, the magician side or the mentalist side? It's
tough, but the thing that I enjoy doing most is our second sight.
Okay.
Act.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the I've seen that, and it's it's amazing. I just didn't know, like, if your roots with the magic and sleight of hand and all that. If it seems like, because I noticed I've seen that as well.
Yeah.
The other night was pretty amazing. So
yeah, I would be practicing right now if it wasn't going to be on camera.
How often for your second sight? How often are you practicing?
Every day.
Every day. Okay. So I know there's I have a friend, a magician, who did a sleight of hand trick, and I asked him, how long did that take you? And he said about a year and a half, and I was blown away. Not to underestimate, I just didn't think how much practice goes into it. So you're doing this every day and constantly fine-tuning.
Yeah, because we have to stay, first of all, we have to stay sharp. I feel like if we ever stop practicing, we will never be as sharp as we are, and it will just gradually, probably become worse. But also we are developing. We're just adding new things and we're learning new things. And hopefully this time next year will be even better than we're now. Yeah, that's the goal.
That's awesome. So most couples live together and go off and, different jobs or whatever. You guys live together, but also go to work together. How do you balance that?
We don't understand a lot of the times when we watch. This is our guilty secret. We watch a lot of trash TV.
Okay.
like Married at First Sight and
Love is Blind.
And stuff like that.
Okay.
We see a lot of the couples talking about how relationships are a challenge.
Yeah.
We don't understand that.
That's a beautiful thing.
We're both lucky enough that everything just feels smooth, and to be able to work together is we enjoy it.
Okay.
We love that we get to work together and we go home together and we're always together because we're best friends as well.
That's a beautiful thing to hear. So when you're watching Dateline and you're like, and it's always the husband who does it on Dateline. It's always the husband. Yes. I gave away every Dateline, by the way. It's always the husband. Yeah. So when you're watching this trash, you have trouble like comprehending that. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So that's a beautiful thing to hear. I saw on your Instagram you performed recently for David Blaine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I want to hear about that, to me, iconic and legendary and all that. How was that experience performing for him? Because he really hyped you guys up and to his crew. He was very gracious, and it was awesome to see.
So it was all extremely surreal. So David Blaine's, for most magicians my age, is the reason they got into magic. He revolutionized close-up magic with his first special, Street Magic, where the focus was on the audience. No one had ever done it. And he made magic cool. So we were at a convention last year, and somebody introduced us to David Blaine, and he wanted to see our act. So we got dragged into this corridor at Magic Live. No one else was allowed in, and it was just like 5 of us and David and Dessa, his daughter. And we performed our act. We had the footage of that as well, but we'd never published it. And he just kept on reacting, going, "It's perfect. It's so good. It's so good." And we were just like I've never been so nervous in my life performing for my idol here.
Oh yeah, I can't even imagine that.
And then he'd invited us back to his VIP room after the show a couple of times, and then this year, that's where the video came from. This year we went again, and he invited us back and said before the show, "Can I ask you to perform for my VIPs?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, he introed you guys and was like, "Have you guys seen this? This is amazing!" And I was like so happy for you guys because I know how iconic he is, and you seemed incredibly gracious.
Well, that's the one thing I love about Vegas, and I love about magic as an art form is it's one of the few art forms where you get to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So we met Chris Angel a couple of years ago, and Chris Angel's become a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And he's again such a kind, lovely person, and we did a little bit in his show.
Oh, you performed in his show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We
Yeah.
were visiting, and he said, "You want to do it?" So we went up and did it, and this kind of stuff. I can't imagine if you're in any other industry, if you're a singer, you're not an unfamous singer isn't coming up here going, "Yeah, I was on stage with Taylor Swift." It doesn't happen.
Right. It's true. That is very true. Are there any like sort of? Oh, by the way, with Chris Angel, I know he's a big rock fan, music fan, and he does an incredible charity every year.
Yeah.
That I'm sure Brent has told you about, where he performs, and Eric and all those guys, and he has, he's friends with a lot of rock stars, but it's just so great what he does. So you see, the performer side, but you also see the humble side of him, where he's, raising money for charities and so forth. So that's great. Are there any, like the Houdinis, like older school magicians that had an influence, or that, or is that like a prior generation?
Well, David Berglass was big inspiration.
Are you familiar with David Berglass?
I don't know that name. No, sorry.
So David Berglass within Mentalism is probably the legend. He's sadly passed away a couple of years ago, but we met David Berglass right early on in the lead up to Britain's Got Talent. He'd invited us to his house with David Penn, who was consulting with us at the time.
Okay.
And we just sat, and he made us some tea, and we performed our act, and halfway through he stood up and gave us a standing ovation. And David Berglass he had a 30-year TV career
in the UK.
Okay.
Like a big name, like probably the biggest name we could have met.
Mm-hmm.
For us in Mentalism.
Is it nerve-wracking it must be performing in front of, your heroes and people you looked up to or have been an influence? Is it nerve-wracking in some way? Or?
It is nerve-wracking, but we're so lucky that there's just such kind and humble people that halfway through, they kind of just calm you down, and you feel their kindness towards you, and you feel comfortable. Yeah, at first it's nerve-wracking, but then they kind of make you feel very welcome. And
so is it more nerve-wracking in front of a couple of idols or in front of 5,000 or 10,000 people?
I would say a couple of idols.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get used to the audience and all that.
Yeah.
Because it's a people's number one fear is public speaking.
Yeah.
And you survey people. Number one fear is public speaking, and number two is death. So people would rather die than get out in front of an audience.
Wow.
That's why. Wow. So my brother did some stand-up comedy growing up, and I grew up in the comedy clubs, and I always thought that's one of, like, just performing in general is one of the hardest jobs, because if public speaking is a fear, now you got to get up in front of someone and make them laugh or perform and wow them. So that's cool that, you're, I mean, obviously I've seen it.
You get used to it.
You get used to it.
Yeah.
You get comfortable in front of thousands of people, and it's and to perform at a high level, it's a gift. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Anyone else, like whether it's in Vegas or I can't leave out our mutual friend that we've met, Jerry McCambridge, who's one of the original mentalists in Vegas. Can you talk about his mentorship and so forth?
So Jerry, I was just going to bring him up. Funny you said that, because Jerry. We met 3 years ago. It was our first time in Vegas. We went to see his show. Afterwards, we were chatting, and he invited us to his Tuesday night gathering.
Yeah,
because he'd used Marina in the show.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't take our bullshit answers, because we don't like to go to another magician or mentalist show and reveal that we're magicians or mentalists, because we don't want to. Like, it's not about us.
Did he know you guys were?
No.
He didn't know us.
Didn't know.
We just went as normal.
He brought Marina on stage, and he was like, "What do you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a performer." But he wouldn't drop it. It was like, "What kind of performer?" Just we really tried to not. He got it out of us, because he's Jerry, right?
Yeah, he's the mentalist. Yeah.
Then he invited us to his Tuesday gathering, and then we did the Pro-Mystic party, which was also at his house. And that was probably the hardest performance that we've done, I think. In terms of nerves, because it was a room full of 150 of the best mentalists in the world, and Jerry has come to us and said, "Do you mind performing for them?"
Oh, wow!
And we're like, "Oh shit!"
At first we were like, maybe better not.
Yeah.
There's more to lose than to gain.
David Penn was there, the guy that we've mentioned that was our consultant.
Yeah.
And we went up to David and said, "Oh, Jerry's asked us to perform," expecting David to be on our side and go, "No, you're not doing that." And he was like, "You should." And we're like, "Oh, God."
Yeah.
Because people like Ken Webber was there, who wrote Maximum Entertainment.
Okay.
Chris Philpott was there. Peter Turner was there. Like Banachek was there. Like it was crazy.
Oh, this is like a loaded lineup.
Yeah. So we did it, and it was our first time performing for our peers, and I couldn't believe the response.
That's
because
amazing.
our act is such a small niche in the overall category. Most of them don't do it or are not from it, so they're just laymen at that point. So they responded like our regular audiences.
That's cool.
Which was awesome.
That's a huge
and
compliment, you guys.
And then since then Jerry invited us to stay with him, and now every time we're in Vegas, we stay with Jerry.
Yeah,
he's so kind to us, and we just talk magic, we talk shop. He's given us so many notes on our show, and it's just again another one of those things in this to have that opportunity to sit down with the Vegas mentalist, who's had the longest running mentalism show in Vegas history.
Yeah, and he's mentored a lot of people, so that's cool. When you get feedback, you look at it as constructive and you welcome that for sure. Especially with someone with that kind of experience.
100%. Yeah. Well, he's the same as us, so he would never give feedback unless asked. But
Okay.
we always ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to know. Now, when you go to other shows, I understand basics of like certain basics of card tricks and certain mechanics of how they work. And the mentalist stuff, again, mind to mind blown, but that's a different story. When you go to other shows, are you ever like, what's that Penn and Teller show? Fool Us, yeah. Where magicians go up and they like, do you ever go to something and you're like, I have no idea what the heck just happened? Or is it like, are you like blown away by anything?
I think what we try to do is we don't want to know how stuff is done. We try to just let our brains go to
like an audience member.
Yeah.
We do love to watch it as an audience member, not like as magicians.
Because I have friends. I think we might have even talked about this the other night about musician friends that go to concerts, and most people just watch the lead singer going around the stage, but they're watching the drum tech and the guitar tech and the stage guy and the sound guy and the lighting guy. So they're like, it's like Terminator. They're watching everything. And so I'm curious, if you go to a magic or a mentalist show, are you just like, I'm going to absorb this as an audience member, or are you not necessarily critiquing, but like observing things that the normal person wouldn't observe?
We want to be an audience because we don't want to, first of all, we don't want to be influenced. We don't want it to have anything to do with our act. We don't want to, we want to resist the urge to borrow things that other magicians or mentalists are doing. So we don't want to think like that at all when we go to see a show.
Okay.
We just want to be entertained. We're like everyone else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about how it's done. It's about how well it's done.
Okay. That's a good statement. You mentioned there's an Olympics of Magic coming up that you guys are performing. Is that in July?
Yeah.
July, yeah.
What's the name of that?
FISM.
Okay. How do you audition for it? Did someone recommend it? I'm fascinated with this story because other people were telling me this is like a pretty big deal. So how does that work out?
We're sponsored by the Magic Circle because we're the Mentalism champions.
Magic Circle Champions of Mental. Okay, so that's an organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're the ones. It happens every 3 years. It's not well known publicly, but to a magician, FISM's the be all and end all of magic competition.
Okay.
It's definitely the hardest because you've like Shin Lim won it one year, and the people that win are you can't not be the best in your field to win.
Okay.
Right.
And how many people compete or are invited to it?
Well, they've just done the preliminaries last year. They have multiple different FISMs, so thousands of people are going in for this during the preliminary rounds.
Okay.
So there was one in Dallas, FISM North America. Then there was one in Italy, FISM Europe. There was one.
I think the Asian part as well somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was.
I want to say South Korea, but yeah.
So it's literally the Olympics, like different parts of the world do like preliminary rounds, and then they all have their finals. And you won for Middle East, like the Middle East region, or
no, we're representing UK.
Oh, UK, okay. And what do you have? Like, what do you have to do? Do you have to change the act every time, or is it? How does that work?
So we have to. So we have what we're doing for FISM is different to what we did at the Magic Circle. We've just developed. So we only have 9 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a big challenge. We need to present it in a way that it's never been presented before. We need to convince people that we're the best at what we do in 9 minutes. And that's the challenge for us. Because it's so easy to, I mean, even just performing out there for you guys was probably longer than 9 minutes.
It was easy, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still, that's cool. And then you perform for 9 minutes, and then how does that work? Is it is that at the finals, or is that?
Yeah,
That's the finals,
So we'll do that. I think there are like 50 other acts competing.
Wow.
And then we'll see where the chips fall.
Good luck. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's cool. I like what you said about maybe a year from now we want to improve, because there's characteristic of a successful people, and one of the characteristics is the desire to improve themselves. So like health is one of them, spirituality is one of them, and like the top three, and the desire to improve themselves, where it's not being like self-critical, it's just saying, okay, I want to get better. So LeBron James working in the summer on this part of his basketball game to get better for the next season. And you're like, what are you doing that for? You're already one of the best. So I admire that. That's something where, do you have any sort of like 5-10 year like goals or anything like specific maybe you want to perform, or anything you've thought of like longer term that would...
I think we're enjoying our previous goal at this point, because our goal was to open our theater show, to start our theater show, our residency, to enter FISM. Like, if you think about it, all we do this year is basically just enjoying the goals that we set 5 years ago for ourselves. For the future, I don't know. I think we will think after FISM.
Let's get to the Olympics first.
Then we'll sit down and think.
I'm
what's
thinking
next?
of the Matthew McConaughey line. He said his hero is himself 10 years from now. That's what he
I
said.
love
like
that.
that.
And then 10 years passed, and like, who's your hero now? He says, me 10 years from now again.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking of that. That's cool.
Well, I think the for us during COVID, we leaned heavily in Stoicism, and I think I'm not a huge fan of the motivational industry's view on goals, because I think at some point it's good to just enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Now, we naturally always want to progress with our act. And that comes from passion for what we do, but we're not. I used to be a self-help book junkie.
Yeah.
And it felt like I was a failure if I wasn't constantly coming up with this goal. I feel like passion creates the goals naturally.
Yes, that's a good point.
I don't think it's something that we have to have. If we get to the end of FISM and we decide to just relax for a year, we'll do that. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't feel like we need to have the goals, but I like having, for example, FISM to work towards, because the journey is teaching us so much.
Yeah.
And no matter whether we win or not, we're going to be better performers by the end.
Yeah. Oh, and the lessons learned will be amazing.
Exactly.
I like what you're saying. Yeah. You're like, let us get to the Olympics first before we worry about 10 years from now. I get it. But, that actually reminds me, there's a saying, there's 2 days you should never stress about: yesterday and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what you're saying is like, just live in the present and, focus on, because you can't control yesterday, you can't control the past, and don't be anxious about your future. Stressing about it doesn't serve any purpose.
What if you put a 10-year goal and then get to the end of the 10 years and you realize you've been climbing the wrong ladder?
Yeah.
What if you don't enjoy the journey to the goal?
Yeah.
The goal is never what you think it's going to be.
Or you get there and you're like, is that all this? Is that all there is? This
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
If you're not enjoying the process, it's the wrong goal.
It's a very good point. And you guys just seem to be just such great energy and just enjoying like what you're going. Like that's a great thing to see. It's cool. If I can change subjects, I don't know. I don't want to get too political, but you grew up in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Without getting too crazy, because everyone's lost their minds in this world. I'm just from someone who grew up there. We'll get into more like easier topics like abortion and the death penalty after this. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I just wanted to know just your thoughts on what's going on and what's been going on there?
For me, well, as you said, it's not political for me. For me, it's very real. It's my life. It's my mom and dad's life. They're there right now.
Oh, they are there. Okay.
So if you ask me, naturally, I'll say, what the hell is going on? You know, I can't wait for this hell to be over. I can't wait to just go back home and hug my mom. I haven't seen her since the war started.
Oh, really?
The big invasion, 3 years ago. Since then, we haven't been there. And there is no way for me to bring my mom out where I am in Dubai because, well, there are certain reasons why. And so all I have to do is just sit here and wait for it to be over so our life can continue, you know?
Yeah.
In that sense. Yeah, so it is pretty shit.
I'm sorry to hear. No, I
I
don't want to get too deep into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have at least, you know, if you had something you wanted to address or, you know, but it's...
I appreciate all the support that I get. You know, me and my family, and we get so much support.
Yeah.
From everywhere, from around the world. But the most when we come here to the U.S., you know, there are so many people. Once they hear where we are from, they always come and they tell us how they feel, and they always tell us that they wish that they're, you know, it's over soon and they're with us, and they pray for us. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great support. Yeah. I was going to ask, when you do your performance, anything like really funny on stage, or have you like, I don't know if I should even ask if you've screwed up. Like, have you like held up a set of keys and she thought it was a dildo or something like that? Or I don't know. I can say dildo, it's my show. No, but like, have you ever like done anything either funny or like screwed up or something? Because I don't know. I feel like.
So we have this bit where we'd had a couple on stage. So our show begins with us demonstrating our abilities.
Yeah.
Then we move on to giving the abilities to the audience. So we'd had a couple come on stage and they hear each other's thoughts. So in this one particular occasion, I decided to introduce a new line, which got a laugh, which is just, I said, honestly, no pressure on you guys. If this doesn't work, all it means is that you're not supposed to be together. So I said that, and then the people laugh. And I'm just kidding. But then that happened to be the first time that had ever failed. So it didn't work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So they took you literally?
Yeah, they broke up. Broke up soon after that. No.
They were a cool couple.
We're relaxed enough on stage to have been able to weasel our way out of that through scripting.
Yeah.
And misdirect to what was coming next. So after that is a prediction, which is about them.
Yeah.
So I kind of immediately just said, of course that didn't work. Of course, because we've been doing this for 7 years. We work on this for 6 hours a day. But the fact that you're willing to try means that you guys should be together. And what this was really about was this. And then we start talking about the prediction and we move on from the...
Okay. All right. So you have like contingencies in case, or at least just performing as the performance.
I think it's just James's experience as a performer. He can find a way out of everything. You know, no matter what happens on stage, I know that he'll always take over and we will never just stand there and be like, oh,
yeah,
what do we do next? Yeah, he knows what to do. He always knows what to do.
I think you could do stand-up comedy or improv. I mean, or improv. I mean, at least a version of it. I mean, it's
stand-up comedy is actually one of the goals. Speaking of goals, that I do have at some point is I don't want to be a stand-up comedian, but I would like to, because I like the idea of cross-training within the arts. Right, I want to go and do an open mic at some point.
So a friend of mine in the arts district here, he runs an open mic on Sundays, 10 amateur comedians, 10 minutes. And he's always told me, I want you, because my brother used to do it and we used to write material, but I've never done it on stage. So maybe the next time you come into town, we can try that. Because he's like, he told me, he's like, anytime you want, it's on a Sunday, you got 10 minutes. And I said, I have like maybe 4 good minutes in me. And he's like, that's what she said. And I'm like, you're not helping your case. I'm like, now I'm definitely not showing. No, but 10 minutes, because like I admire, my entire Netflix history are stand-up comics. That's all I watch. Like, and I admire doing a full hour Netflix special. So 10 minutes is a long time to do comedy, at least in my view. But he's like, anytime you want, just let me know on a Sunday. So maybe we can both do. You'll do 10 and I'll do 10.
10 minutes is a lot.
And I'll do it, and I know what'll happen, and I'm comfortable with this. It will be a humbling experience, and I'll die on my ass. But I'm going to learn a lot in the process.
It'll be fun though. It'll be like, I don't know, I'm sure it'll be a small, intimate club. It's not like.
But I think I just imagine, because I've seen other people that have gone to open mic nights, and you can tell that they've been told they're going to be good, and they've got all the confidence, and they get up, and you can see the moment of realization when their first joke doesn't land.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
And
I
they
have
go,
8 more minutes of this.
what am I doing?
Unfortunately, that's a lot of, because I always ask him, out of the 10, how many are good? He's like 1, maybe 2.
Oh,
He's like, there's a lot of them where I just was like, okay, after 5 minutes, you kind of have to cut it because it's like crickets. So it's not that they thought they were going to be good. They didn't have a friend honest enough to tell them, like, dude, this sucks. You got to work on your material. I mean, that's what you need. You need that person
that friend, yes.
to be honest. But maybe next time we can both try that. Because I want 2 things I want to do. I want to do 10 minutes of stand-up at my friend's club, and I want to do a music video with some of our mutual friends, because I used to play drums and piano like way back in high school and stuff. And every time I go to the shows, they have a studio they record out of here, and they've recorded some amazing videos. And I said, okay, I'm going to rehearse, and I would love to do that. So those are my 2 like non-business fun sort of goals to do.
would you prefer to play the piano or drums?
I don't know. It's a good question. I played drums for 20 years, so that's easy because I
Wow.
can keep a beat. That's easy.
Doesn't look easy at all to me. Yeah.
Piano is, I'd have to rehearse a little bit more. I used to play. You used to play too, or you still do?
Yes, I used to play. Yeah, that's way in the past. Yeah.
Classic or just like
Just
classically
classic,
trained
yeah,
lessons and all
yeah,
that stuff?
7 years musical school.
And
that
do
was
you
it.
still play though? Or
No, I haven't touched the.
you don't have like a
instrument.
digital piano at home or something
No,
like
I'm
that?
scared. I'm scared to try again because I feel like it won't be good and I'll be upset. I'd rather just keep the good memories of me being good, and I don't want to spoil that.
Oh wow!
scared.
Okay, I played I played with them on my birthday party, and I had to rehearse, and I just did it through YouTube. You can pretty much like, I think you could do open heart surgery on YouTube if you. There's like 8 videos. Once you get past the second one, you could do anything. I was like, I hadn't played in a while, and I watched some stuff on YouTube, and it was easy. So,
Wow, okay.
So don't be intimidated by it.
All right,
Go back
I
to
might
it.
try.
Especially there's a lot on YouTube that you can. Maybe learn some magic tricks too. I might. Who knows?
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's a lot there too. The Magic Castle. I'm fascinated with. Have you performed there?
We have not.
You have not. Have you? But you've been there.
Many times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So explain to the audience, because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've never been there. I've just heard different things. What's it like there, and what's it all about?
So Magic Castle is just an incredible historic magic venue, which you can't take photos inside. You have to be with a member or part of like the Magic Circle, because we're part of the Magic Circle. We can go in, and you get in, and you're just surrounded by magicians and shows everywhere. So there's all these different rooms, and you go in, you grab a drink, and then you go and sit and watch this show, and then you go to watch another show. So you can watch 5 shows in a night. Yeah,
that's
Have
pretty
you ever
cool.
been?
I've never been. No, I've heard about it,
amazing.
and our mutual friend Jerry said he can. I'm sure through.
Yes.
Or just different friends. It's funny because whenever I tell someone I have a magician friend, they're like, "Oh, that's a flex," and I'm like, "I actually have like 7 or 8 of them, but I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that douchebag." It's like I just met through a lot through Jerry, and I'm fascinated. That's why the other night when you had the cards, I'm like, "What do you got? What do you got?" I'm just like a little kid, and I'm always fascinated by that. So, are there people? They're just like all levels of magicians performing there, and you go have dinner and you watch the acts. Is that?
yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
much what it
Exactly,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is, yeah.
That's
It's a very
pretty
fun
cool.
night. Yeah, you start at like 7 p.m. You go for an amazing dinner. Some of the best food I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible, just incredible. And then you have this amazing dinner, and then you grab drinks, and then you see some of the best magic in the world.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You guys have traveled a lot, right? All over the world. Let's say you could retire tomorrow. Where would you live? Favorite city or
Ooh.
favorite city?
New York, probably.
Probably New York, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I lived in New York 9 years. I don't want to go back.
Stop it. Really?
I lived in New York 9 years. Yeah. Great to visit. I still go once in a while for work, but you'd want to live in like right in Manhattan.
Well, I think now if we because we want to spend 6 months of the year in the US and 6 months in Dubai.
Okay.
Because our year's income comes over 6 months
Okay.
there. So we're working on visas at the moment. We will probably come to Vegas because we have a lot of friends here. But I think maybe it's just to visit, but New York as a place to visit has so far been our favorite city, I think.
Yeah, we've never had a bad experience there.
Oh, it's a great city. I'm not.
We like that it's walkable. We like that no walk is ever boring. There's always something to see. It's just crazy.
Someone, there's always,
If you walk 3 blocks in New York, the entire neighborhood, the character of it changes.
Yeah.
You know, so there's like, Upper East Side, and then you're here, and then all of a sudden you're in Soho, and then you're in Little Italy, and you're like, I just walked 3 blocks. So that's the cool thing about the different neighborhoods or areas of New York.
We like the Village. We like McDougal Street.
Yeah.
We've done like 4 comedy nights in a row.
In one night.
In one night there.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of not just that, but music, like Cafe Wah and the Blue Note and some of these. The first time I went, I know a little bit about music, and it's like a Monday night, and I'm like, this band is really good. This wasn't like just some cover band. And we're sitting there, and my friend says, oh, yeah, that person plays with Mary J. Blige. That person plays with Stevie Wonder. Like Grammy Award-winning artists on a Monday night in a jazz club. And I'm like, this is amazing. And there's great food and great comedy right around McDougal there as well.
Well, I'm not sure about the food.
It was a bit disappointing.
We went to the
good pizza.
We went to the best
the best
pasta I ever had was a restaurant called the Pasta Eater, which is in Flatiron. Is that how you pronounce it?
Flatiron District, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the
there's like a little
building,
thing,
the building, yeah.
steps that you go down, and it's a tiny little family-run restaurant called the Pasta Eater, and they do this cheese wheel pasta gusto, they call it.
The best pasta ever.
And it's incredible, and it has like.
Where was this? Near the Flatiron? What's the name?
It's called Pasta Eater.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone always asks me if I know places in New York, but there's like 8,000 restaurants. It's impossible to know all of them. But that's where you had the best.
Yeah, and it's and then they were so welcoming and nice. We go to pasta place called Maestro Pasta on McDougal, and I asked for the same thing because I'm like blown away by this pasta we'd had in this other place, and I was like, does it come with? Because I think the one in the Pasta Eater comes with prosciutto or pancetta, I think.
Yeah, some of that.
And I said, can I have some pancetta in it? And the Italian lady was so offended, and I got told off.
We don't do that.
Yeah, I was like, all right. So I just kind of sat back in my chair, like, okay, all right, just I'll have it without it then. And then she brought out the bland pasta dish. And then we left.
So you've had some great fun experiences in New York.
Yeah.
So if you had,
no matter what happens, it's fun.
Yeah.
And the Comedy Cellar we love. We saw.
Oh yes.
Ray Romano was there the night we were there.
Yeah.
Oh, we got crowd worked by Jeff Akuri.
Okay.
Do you know of him?
I've heard the name.
He's an amazing stand-up.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah, he will have a special soon.
Yeah.
But he's doing a lot of stuff on YouTube at the moment. He's getting a huge following. He's now doing like a world tour. But he spoke to us a bit because we were in the front row, and then for like months after that, we're getting people going, "Is this you guys?"
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's cool.
it ended up with like 5 million views or something.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. One of the first times I was near the Flatiron District, I was at a Starbucks, and I had a business meeting, and I'm talking, and then like model after model is walking in, and I'm just like, I'm trying to focus, and I'm like, all right, like every girl's a 10 that's walking in. I said to my friend, I said, because I hadn't been in that area, I said, do you mind if I ask what's going on? He says, oh, the 3 largest modeling agencies are here, here, and here. And they would all come for Starbucks there. And I'm like, I'm going to get a job at the Starbucks. I'm like, I really like this Starbucks. It was pretty cool. It was right near when you said the Flatiron District. That's why I remember that. But there's so many. New York is great. I just, after a while, it's not that I get claustrophobic. I need a little bit of space, a little bit of, the sunshine and a little bit of all that. So
now you're in Vegas.
Between Vegas and Boston.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I still have to go to New York every month or so for work. But I don't know. I don't want to say I don't miss it. I just I don't know. I burned out a little bit, after a while there. Yeah.
That's how we feel after being in Vegas for 3 weeks. We're kind of getting burned out. We've seen shows every day.
Well, you have a lot of friends and a lot of contacts. So they were like, hey, you're getting pulled in different directions. Like, you want to do this, you want to do this. And sometimes you just want to relax, I'm sure.
Now we need to go back to Dubai to rest.
Yeah.
Anywhere else outside of the U.S. as far as cities that
We like London a lot.
We do love London.
You grew up in
Milton Keynes.
Okay.
Just north of London.
Okay.
But the time that we went to London last time was the first time I actually really enjoyed London as a city. Yeah, it was great. But we like walkable places.
But
Okay.
London would be very similar to New York, I think, right? The feel, the vibe, yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
What else? We liked Miami.
Miami
Pretty
was
cool.
great, yeah.
We like Dallas.
Yeah.
Austin I like a lot.
Yeah. It's a great
that's
city.
a fun place.
Brent says the craziest fans in the world are Argentina.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
He's
wow.
toured 5 times around the world with Slash and Gene Simmons and everyone. And he's like, because, well, of course, Brazil, all of South America, but he said craziest fans in the world for like 70,000 in a soccer field. Ole, 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 like all day partying just to watch. And they don't just know the lead singer, they know every band member. They're like hardcore fans. Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
And he said the best food was Lebanon, he said.
Oh, yeah?
So I know it's a personal preference, but
Yeah, for a few years I ate too much Lebanese food. Now I don't eat too much.
So what happens when you live in Dubai?
a lot of Middle Eastern food
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
that you eat there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know you guys did a podcast before, so I really appreciate doing this, and we'll try to wrap it up. Any sort of advice for anyone who wants to get into the industry that you would give them, or kind of combined with lessons or something you wish you knew 5 or 10 years ago? For me, it's stop giving a shit what people think. That's my.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah, it's
I
the
wish
hardest one, though.
That is hard.
Yeah.
That is hard.
I'd say if you know yourself, if you know that you're the type of person that can get obsessive about something and practice something until you can't do it wrong, then it's probably a good thing to get into.
Yeah, do it then.
You have to have that self-awareness, though, to
Yeah.
know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you are that type of person, you'll have a great time in magic. But if you're not, it'll be like it's like going up and doing stand-up comedy every night and never getting a laugh.
Not good.
Because you get all types of audiences, people will throw all these different kinds of things at you. If you're not absolutely perfect in your material,
Yeah.
you're gonna have a tough time.
Okay.
And my friend is a guy called Mike, who grew up within the UK, learning magic together. He always, because he was from America but had moved early teens, but he used to describe we don't have this concept in the UK, but you might understand. He used to say that getting caught out in a magic trick is the same feeling as being depanted. Is that like something that would happen in school? Like bullies would take your pants off you? And stuff?
when you're in like grade school and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, it's like being depanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you only really have that once, and then you make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right. Anything for you as far as like maybe you wish you could have told yourself 10 years ago?
I think, I don't regret anything we've done. I think whatever happened to us learned us a lesson. It taught us a lesson. What I would advise is we've done.
Get on Tinder.
I get on Tinder, first of all. Yes, if you're looking for a lifetime partner,
I'm sorry.
maybe try. Yeah,
mean to interrupt.
I always say that. Why not? Give it a go. But career-wise, if you want to get into magic, what I can say is, I was very lucky because I had my mentor from day one, which was James, and he taught me a lot. But also, what we learned together is get as much advice as you can, but from people that you admire. Let's say if you meet someone and you really appreciate what they do, you admire their work, try to get the advice from them. And try to listen and try to follow that because they know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. So be teachable, be open-minded.
Absolutely.
But also there's a great expression when you talk about self-help. Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. So don't try to necessarily reinvent the wheel. Find someone who's successful.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of saying that and mimic it and learn from that with your own flavor and your own style, of course.
Yeah.
So find someone like, and you guys have been, blessed to meet, especially in Vegas, a lot of, the Copperfields and the David Blaines and all, and Chris Angels and so forth. So it's like the epicenter of a lot of talent, and you can learn from them.
Well, another one, and the flip side of this, this is what I wish I'd learned right at the beginning. Don't listen to what other people say. In terms of when you first begin, you can buy a trick like the invisible deck. You can go out and perform it for somebody, and they're going to tell you very early on you're the best magician they've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to get this kind of new magician ego.
Okay.
It's really dangerous because none of it's true.
Okay.
Right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Because people react on emotion. You can do a store-bought trick that will fool someone. They're going to feel the emotion of being fooled. And it's the only art that's like that. You can't just get an instrument and convince a layman that you're really good at it when you're not.
Yeah.
But you can do that with magic. So ego is a big negative in this industry, is developing that ego right at the beginning when you start to think you're good because you listen to your own hype and you listen to what other people are saying, then you stop improving.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's in every industry too. Once
Right.
you think you're better than the game or better than whatever in the stock market, they say leave your ego at the door because, you know, you start getting cocky in anything and nature has a way of humbling you. Really quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, for me, it's interesting what you said about, you know, someone a long time ago said the less you care about what other people think, the easier life will be. And you're right, it's hard though sometimes because we live in the world of social media and you're always getting feedback and stuff. But that's probably the greatest advice I've heard. It's just practicing it and implementing it is to just say we're going to do our thing and not care what people say or because we're enjoying this and we're passionate about it. It's a balance.
Yeah.
We realized as well that it's not necessarily that it doesn't matter what people think of us. It's just most people aren't thinking about us anyway.
That's true
Yeah.
too.
We are only ever we are your extras in your life.
Yeah.
Your life is the Joe Show. We are your extras. No one's sitting around thinking about what we're doing because everyone is their own main character.
That's true.
So it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just that no one's thinking.
And
about
I'm an
us.
extra on your podcast right now. I'm flipping it around on you. On that note, I know you guys have a lot going on the rest of the day. I can't thank you enough for your kindness, your humility. I'm, again, just literally blown away by everything I've seen and an incredible amount of respect for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully we can do this again soon. Maybe get some other people do some more magic and
Let's make it a party.
Yeah.
Exactly. So thank you again, and hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.